and a 2, and a 1, and an on pause.
And it is
Take it away.
time. Let's go. I am joined with chronojj for Athenian League Grand Final action. I'm going to let chronojj tell you all about it. We already did a little bit of a pre-intro, but I'm really excited to share this with the YouTube audience as well, so we're going to do it again. But a little bit of an introduction here. At the top of the map, we've got Lordi playing as Ra, and in the bottom of the map, we've got Bachi playing as Loki. Tell us a little bit about this Athenian League shenanigans here, JJ.
Sure. So the Athenian League, this is the intermediate to moderate to intermediate league that I've been running in your Discord. Thank you for having us. It's aimed at, helping players that aren't quite good enough for top tier tournaments to win or even really get far. So hosting this for 1,300 to 1,700 rated players. We had 32 signups. I split them all up into 3 different tiers. So we are watching the top tier, which is currently about 1,600 to 1,700 rated players, and this is the grand finals of that. We had a regular season with over 60 matches played. We are now in this playoffs. We've whittled it down to 2 players in the finals here, and it's Bachi and Lordi. Both actually placed first place in their divisions, and so came in as number 1, number 2 seed, and here they are battling it out in the finals.
Yes, I mean, this is such a cool. I'm always a big supporter of this sort of a thing. Like, if you get any sort of community tournaments, this is the way in which you build a scene, right? Like, otherwise, you're just gonna have the top 10 players be the top 10 players forever, and then no one's ever going to be able to have that tournament experience. And you see these types of players like at the 1,700 level jump into the tournaments, and then they have to play against the Mister at round 1 and just get walloped, and then they go, "What? Well, there's no point in that," and they're never going to try again. So it's really really
right.
Sick.
So yeah, that's why I did it, and there's a little bit of for myself too, because I'm kind of in that rating range where there's no point in me playing a tournament. I'll just get whacked. But I could play this one and compete. I lost in the first round of the playoffs. That's okay. And as far as the grand prize here, there is no money. It's all just online ego and, permanent in the Athenian League history book. This is season 2. You want to be the champion in season 2. It's going to mean so much as, looking back in 10 years when we're in season 30. People are going to want to know who won season 2.
I mean, it is. We said it before, but eternal glory is worth more than anything in RTS games. So. Oh, what a time to be alive. But Bachi, let's talk about the game a little bit here. We got Loki versus Ra. Bachi has already dropped himself into the main base of Lordi, and he's spying, seeing exactly what's happening. Lordi's got double monuments up, dropping his temple. We've been recently seeing at the top level of play, Ra players actually going in with Bast and making Sphinx against Loki. It kind of looks like we might be heading that way, but we also might be heading a completely different way. You kind of never really know until they click the classical age.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on this one? The map's land unknown, right? So
so the first map always brought to you by Land Unknown. Well, no, it's the unknown, but yes. Always brought to you by the unknown. So,
as in this is the one with water maps in it as well.
It could, but I've found that it almost always has land, or it'll spawn 3 fish, and we are aging up with Bast over for Lordi's side of things. Do you think that the Sphinx works against Loki, who can get the faster hearse here?
So far, I've seen Joe successfully winning with Ra against, I don't want to say it was Loki, I think it was Thor, which is I think Thor is your best Norse god against Sphinx. But we also saw El Matador with Ra beating Eric's Loki in the recent Clash of the Immortals qualifiers with this god. So using Sphinx. So it definitely works, but I do think that the Norse player, if they play well enough, they're going to be able to defend and create really good opportunities for themselves in this sort of a game, especially on a map like this where, a couple of walls and these Sphinx are going to get shut down.
Yeah, it's kind of like Jotunheim a little bit here.
Yeah. I love these sorts of maps, right? Like you completely change the strategy because it's so different to say, I don't know, Blue Lagoon. The more variety in maps, the better, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of why I went for it. I wanted there to be, some level of kind of, yes, you could prepare ahead of time, but not really for the first game because you never quite know what kind of map it's going to give you. So it's kind of to test the player's adaptability. They see this map, what do they do with it? And so far we've got the Sphinx, I think, figuring out what kind of a map it is for Lordi.
Yeah, he's pretty much already committing into this big classical age Axeman Sphinx thing. So, I mean, Bachi already knows what's coming. He's got that spy in as the Sphinx are charging in to hit the dwarves, but good reaction there as so we'll get a couple of whacks off to send, or a whack off before the Sphinx is going to be moving away here. But now Bachi knows what's coming, and it's town center time. It's town center time for him.
Yeah, what do you think of this town center grab against this kind of gameplay?
This is very legacy decision making. This is what you did against like Bast with Norse in Legacy.
Right.
I think it actually.
We aren't playing Legacy.
We're not playing
Boit.
Legacy though. I think it can work, but you need to have the right map for it. And there are some really, really nice back elephants behind this town center.
Yes, there are.
And some sort of a fast heroic behind this might be the option because you're going to get Godi out, which can deal with those Axemen and the Myth units, and you can also get access to Jarls, for example, to give some frontline and a whole bunch of other stuff. So yeah, I don't mind this at all. I think this is a great map for it. He's got gold mines kind of scattered all over the place, and the walls are going to be easily able to get put down. But still, it's never easy dealing with these sorts of Egyptian hard all-in strategies. Never easy. Nice dwarf pick there as well.
Yeah, I guess my only concern would be for Bachi here. I mean, the elephant are great, but the gold mines, there's always that risk that you get blocked, though, like you said, with the way Bachi can kind of wall off from left to right, it's going to be hard to block both the left and right side if you're Lordi.
Yeah, this map is playing out to be a very, very defensible sort of situation, but still, like the Sphinx, if you get enough of these Sphinx out and there's not any defenses, they can kill off a town center easily. They can kill off a wall easily. They can do a lot of this stuff very, very quickly. But yeah, if it does kind of look like we are going to be seeing Bachi trying to get a heroic age in here. He's got a lot of food in the bank, a lot of villagers on food, but he hasn't yet dropped down the armory.
Yep. Do you think it's better to jump or do you make units? He's kind of like half in between, it seems like right now.
I do think it's better to get to the heroic age if you can. I would even consider sacking the town center and saving the villagers after these elephants are gone. Like after the elephant finishes, retreat back into my main base and say, you can take the town center, I'll take my villager advantage. Okay. Get heroic age. Yep. And then start making those Godi, because that's the unit that beats both these Axemen and the Sphinx, and he needs it. Because otherwise the Eclipse comes down and the Sphinx wipe out the raiding cavalry, the Axemen kill off the Herser, and life gets really, really challenging.
Yeah, the problem, I think, though, is that with Bachi building all of his buildings here, I don't think he can sack it anymore.
Oh, nice snipe on
I think he has to.
Almost gets it there. Yeah, he looks like he's probably going to have to stay in the classical age, the way that he's approaching this. But I do actually like the building positioning if he's going to go for this, because this makes it very, very tricky for this high mobility army of the Sphinx to actually use that to their advantage. So,
right,
not a bad idea.
The Sphinx have some issues pathing sometimes. They're kind of a fat unit, so blocking up this area is good for them.
Cool. I like this. I like this garrison shenanigans. He can drop in and out and get himself to safety away from the Axemen and just sit here. But this is going to be very, very tough for Bachi.
Yeah, this is such a delicate balance here.
There's that Eclipse coming down. The Herser are actually able to get onto the majority of Sphinx on the left-hand corner of the map. The raiding cavalry dealing with those Axemen as well here. This is looking actually like a Bachi almost able to just straight defend this. His town center isn't targeting down the infantry units, which would probably be his biggest benefit. It's gonna be a tough one though.
There's just so many units coming in for Lordi though.
I guess the thing is here, if he picks off the big units, he picks off the Sphinx here, then the town center is not going to go down to a bunch of axemen.
Good defend.
And he didn't lose any villages just yet.
Oh. Yeah, the Sphinx are getting picked, aren't they? There's like just 2 Hersier that are left, killing all the Sphinx.
Yeah. Yeah, this has been this is a great defense from Bachi. Eclipse is now off the table. The Hersa push forward, killing off these units, and I don't think Bachi needs to overcommit here. He's got a perfectly safe gold mine on the left-hand corner. He doesn't have to keep pushing. Just regroup, keep building units, and now he's got 71 favor for trolls.
Yeah, in the end, in that fight, the Sphinx got so bottlenecked next to the healing spring in the town center, so that, like you mentioned, the raiding cavalry were fighting the axemen on the bottom, and the Hersier were fighting the Sphinx that tried to go around to the left, and it was a really good defense for Bachi. I think if Lordi would have ran that a little bit better, he could have won that. Just the Sphinx didn't quite get the value they needed.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's always kind of challenging with the way that this base has been built, utilizing the forests and everything. Maybe Lordi didn't even need to attack there. Maybe he could have gone into the main base. I mean, there's watchtowers, so it's a little bit more funky, but there's some other options.
Yeah, it seemed that I would say the attack was maybe a little premature. I would rather you would see that when he has to move to a gold mine. I think would have been probably better for Lordi.
That's normally the bread and butter to some degree. But then if you do that, then the heroic age is the option. So for the Loki, so it does get a little bit tricky. It's a lot of guesswork. A nice snipe there on that Sphinx with the raiding cavalry, 1 HP. Gets that smack.
Yeah, almost.
Well,
almost.
The one thing here though, chronojj, is damage was done. Like Bachi had a lot of idle villages during that moment. He is in front of villages now, but this has allowed Lordi to get heroic age. He's gone through Sobek. He's going to have Locust. It's going to. He's. I would say right now that he's technically in a losing position, but that doesn't mean that he can't not outplay and bring himself back into this game.
Yeah, because I mean he's under no pressure on his side, so should have been able to have pretty clean villager macro at this point. Though if you look at the top, okay, they just moved. There's a bunch of idle ones at the top, but now they're moving. It's gonna be tough though. I mean, you got all these trolls. How does he kill all these trolls now?
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, okay, straight to Osiris is an option, I guess. That's one way. But yeah, Petsabek as well is another sort of idea. If he's got the favor, which he does, 45 favor, he can get out a couple of those, and you can start sniping him down from afar. But yeah, Bachi, while I think if he plays correctly here, I think he's going to be very happy about his position. He's still got some landmines to avoid, like that Osiris is a problem. These units are over in his main base here are going to be a problem. He's only really got... It's a big lead in terms of villages, but he has to deal with a pestilence, a locust that can potentially kill off a whole bunch of Deuterinos. Drauga spawn there, not the best. Is just going to be able to... Never mind, he's going to leave it alive. He survives another day. That's nice.
Yeah. I think Lordi's a little bit worried about getting trapped in here. Yeah, he's running out.
Yeah,
he might get pinched.
I'm actually liking the raiding cavalry taking out the Sphinx here at the moment. This is actually like it's actually not a terrible idea. I've never really considered just running my dudes at him. See the Locust coming down and Bachi's just going to retreat.
You would have liked to at least get some damage. I mean, it just allows them to retreat, but that's not the Locust you need here.
No. But I guess on the one hand, he gets a little bit of damage from it. On the one hand, it's not the Locust he wanted, but this has allowed him to get to Osiris without any problems now. So there's going to be There's going to be a Mythic Age. There's still no Heroic Age in for Bachi. Bachi technically can kill off this. I think it'll be pretty easy for him to kill off this Osiris with Bragi. And maybe heavy raiding cavalry if he can get both of those in.
Yeah, he should be able to. He's got the resources to age up.
Yeah.
What's he waiting for?
He has a market up. He doesn't. He can click up. He's building an armory. Getting those armory upgrades is going to be important as well. But looks like a little bit of a maybe one of those brain blips, so to speak, at this point for him. As maybe he feels like he needs the armory to advance, and oh, there it goes. Okay.
There we are.
He's going to be just a little bit behind the Osiris, though, JJ. So I still think this pressure is not going to really be able to do anything. Bachi's going to be able to wait it out, and he's going to be fine.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, again, it's going to be hard for Lordi to really pressure both sides of the base. He needs to be careful. I don't think Lordi can fight without Osiris. The trolls are too scary.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with them. If you micro these correctly, the trolls, you can literally erase an entire army in one go. It's a little bit tricky. You have to sort of move forward, kind of like imagine Bonebow Chariot Archers from Legacy. You kind of want it to move just that little bit forward to ensure you get the damage on all of the chariots rather than the back chariots kind of not shooting. You do that with the trolls. You get into the range with all of them, and then you click the attack, and then they all throw the big boulders. And you live the drain.
All right, where's Osiris at?
Osiris coming through. He's spied, so this is like kind of a nice thing here for Bachi. He's going to be able to potentially swing around and kill them, but I don't think they like his army composition here without a whole bunch of raiding cavalry to deal with the Son of Osiris.
Yeah, that's just throwing axemen and trolls for the most part.
Yeah, this could be a little bit nasty.
Slaying already. Oh man, yeah, lost. Lost a handful on the way out. Didn't even kill the Migdol. Do you think though that Lordi's on a bit of a timer here? I feel like he has to go.
Kinda. I mean, if he just kills off the trolls, I think he might be okay. He has to survive flaming weapons. That's actually the big thing right now. The big power spike for Bachi is flaming weapons, but Bachi doesn't really have that many human units, so it's not like that helpful.
Right.
Look at that damage on
Lordi needs he needs to put up a wall to retreat through in case the flaming weapons is a bit too hot.
It's always hot. It's flaming.
It is. It is. Alright. Osiris tanked a little bit too much damage from the hill fort, I think.
Yeah, he's hurting a little bit. You're seeing a whole bunch of berserks to come through. It's almost like these trolls are actually a detriment rather than an assistance right now, because Bachi's going to want to click flaming weapens here.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is a nice little garrison micro.
There it is.
There's the flaming weapons. He's not really focusing onto this Son of Osiris there. Now he hits the Ironry spawn there as the Son of Osiris does get a huge amount of damage. The Locust gets a big amount of damage as well, but Bachi has dropped down to 135 population here, and the Son of Osiris is still alive at 200 HP. It kind of looks like that was good for Bachi, for Lordi. He survives the flaming weapons. Son of Osiris is still alive. He's going to have to retreat back up. There's, I don't know, maybe it's fine. The economy is actually really good for Bachi at the moment.
Uh-oh. This is where you needed the walls to retreat back to, though.
Yeah.
You take back what you just said. I don't think it's looking good.
Well played for Bachi. He's completely fine here. There's no resources in the bank for Lordi at the moment, as it looks like the throwing axeman, goatee, troll shenanigans is really going to be too much to deal with. And there's also the potential for a Mythic Age to come through at any point here as well. Tier, hell, doesn't matter. Take your pick. Whatever you feel like, it's going to be brutal.
Yeah, just the problem there is that Bachi, with been on max builds for so long, had the resources to reinforce, and Lordi really didn't. So the initial fight looked good, but then when the reinforcements come in, it's just you had to be able to retreat, and he wasn't able to.
Well, I mean, at this point, it's just a matter of, I guess it is just a matter of getting your tech in, like getting your eco ups and keep building on this advantage. Now, I mean, Lordi's got all these MiG dolls down. He's slowly building up the units again. If he plays a very nice defensive game here, it can be challenging to actually push as Norse, especially if you get like Camel Rider, Axeman, Chariot Archer out.
Yeah. Do you think? Okay, so we're going up with Hell.
Hell's gonna deal with any amount of Chariot Archers at this point, I'd say.
Yeah, Lordi just needs to try. I don't know if he'll be able to try to stall here, just to catch up in all the tech.
Yeah. So I mean, when you're sort of playing from behind a little bit, one of the best ways to try and catch back up is to get raids off. And a map like this, you know, Bachi's going to feel really, really comfortable on this gold mine over here on the bottom of the map, right? But then you've got this rock. This is a unit we don't get to see very often used. But in this situation, it's amazing because you can just drop him on one side of the cliff, drop on the other side of the cliff, stay on the ground just waiting for the retreat out, and then you get the raids in. So it's a really nice way to play around this in this map. But unfortunately, Lordi maybe not considering it here. But this is a good fight for Lordi until the trolls come through. You've got to retreat away from him. He does pull back. There he goes.
Yeah,
he does. Nice
dodge.
Yes, that's exactly the right way. I kind of really like the troll design because it's so much damage, but the counterplay is there. You notice the boulder coming, you retreat back, and they don't. And
you can see it coming from a mile away.
Exactly. Great play from Lordi as Bachi has to pull back. He's now clicked up through Hell, but he has lost a lot of units here.
Just that copper shields from training right now. That's a bit late, I think.
Just copper shield. Oh, I mean, there wasn't real. I mean, the Chariot Archers have just sort of popped up at this point. Before it was all Axeman and Sphinx. But yes, you should have had that one a bit earlier.
Yeah, well, you always got to assume that the chariots are going to start coming. It's the Egyptian. They're going to...
They're
going to rear their ugly head.
But we've got...
Again, Lordi a little slow with the walls.
Walls are hard to put up. They take effort. You have to click on a villager, draw a line. It's challenging. You know?
Yeah, Kenny, look at all these Huskarls, though.
Yeah, now the Huskar is scary. There's too many of them for the Chariot Archers to do anything. You need Axemen.
Oh, man!
Yeah, they're a good garrison micro, but... And the Huskar is still there, and they're just going to run over here and start taking them out. And then I guess beyond this one, JJ, once Hell comes, you don't actually have to go for Fire Giants here. You could just make 3 Mountain Giants, and he's got 54 favor, 2 Mountain Giants, and there's a tap out, and just bash through all the buildings, and that could be a siege. But that was a really well-played game by Bachi, you know? Like, great holds.
Yeah. Yeah,
Great
twice
conversion.
Lordi came forward, and twice he got repelled. It was all about that first one. The first one kind of set the tone down at the town center.
Yeah, the fight down on the back here. Maybe a little bit more patience from Lordi. He might have been able to find a better angle to attack. It's always like when you're playing these sort of one town center all-ins. There's like the theory of it is you've got 5 minutes, right, to really get some damage done.
Yeah.
But in reality, nobody is like macroing that good. Even the top players aren't. And you probably have more.
Don't you say that?
I'm gonna say it. I'm putting it out there for everyone to hear. You probably actually got
Gauntlet has been thrown down.
You probably actually got more like 7 to 8 minutes in reality to actually hit your big timing attack.
Right.
Especially when you're going for myth unit centric gameplay, because there is a little bit of bonus economy associated with like monuments or oracles, you know, those sorts of ideas. But
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty easy to have the timer. As the one town center player, it's easy to have that timer go off a little bit early, and then you rush it, and then you lose, and then you're like, well, of course it wasn't going to work. Look, it didn't work. And then you're like,
Yeah.
if you kind of take a step back, you can say, well, if you would have played it a little more patiently, could have worked. But yeah, fun game. Nice start to the series here.
great. We'll get on to game number 2. Alrighty, we're into game number 2 as we've got some guard changes here. I actually don't know what the rules are here, JJ, for guard picks, but it's Kronos for Lordi, and it's going to be Thor for Bachi.
All right, God rules. Very simple. If you win with a god, you can't play with that god again.
I love
And
that
that's
rule.
separate for each player. Yeah, so I'm not going to lie, boy. I look at these tournaments and I see all the picks and all the bans, and I'm like, that's just not conducive to the average player, because once his main god's banned, well, now what? These.
Yeah.
We're not playing at a level, at least at your 1600 level, where you can really afford to have your gods banned. And besides, people want to play with their best gods. That's what's fun. So yeah, once you win with a god, it's off the table. Otherwise, do whatever. Just play, have fun, enjoy the game, and we'll go from there. So what is this, Oasis? So Lordi would pick this map because he lost the first one, so the loser picks the next map.
Okay, so this means Lordi picked Oasis, and he
Oasis,
likes the Kronos here. An interesting sort of development. What do you think about this match? This is like one of those. It's one of those ones which I'm not really sure what to do from the Kronos side of things. I know what to do from the Thor side of things. You don't go for the Dwarven Armory opening, because if you do, then you're going to get rushed and you're going to have a sad time.
Yeah.
And you just play a nice game. You drop your Dwarven Armory later, get your upgrades later, and you just sort of play for Berserk, Huskull, throw an Axeman sort of shenanigans, and life gets really tough for that Kronos player very quickly. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think you got to do a hard rush with the Kronos and just hope that you get a huge advantage from there, because I don't know how you match up as the game goes on. I mean, I know Kira Ballista are buffed on the last patch, so
it does change things. It really does.
But I don't know if over time if the Kronos can keep up.
Yeah. The longer the game goes on, I think the more chances, or the less chances Kronos is going to have for advantage here.
Oh my goodness!
Oracle spots the temple there. Did he actually see it?
No, it did not.
Oh,
no.
no.
You look how close it is on Fog of War.
Oh, no.
Oh man!
He needed because that deconstruction.
It changes so much.
It does, because it's like this first Hersa that hasn't even started training is kind of it's everything to stopping any sort of a rush.
So close, like within millimeters, and now the Oracle dies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's huge. That can change just everything with the game.
Really can.
Oh, he tried so hard.
Yeah.
Whoa. Bachi went for a 3:15 here, JJ. I was like, okay, go for a standard-ish advance time. You don't have to go crazy. But now,
he's going crazy.
Both players have gone crazy. I'm like, hang on, what's happening here? We might actually spot an Oracle, though that can just get valid.
Yeah, if he wants to. Yep, there he goes. Yeah, without spotting the temple, I don't. I think it's a lot tougher road for the Kronos. And look at this. I like what Bachi's doing with his Valkyrie, sending it forward.
Yeah, no need to keep it at home.
In the base.
Yeah, no need to keep it at home. There's all those buildings are going to get time shifted forward potentially here. So Lordi's going to be very open for raids. He will have Valors to defend himself, so there's really nothing to worry about. But you've still got to be on top of it. So things can still go wrong.
So you do. It looks like he is making He's not making anything yet from his Chiro bliss or from his counter barracks. Does he make Chiro? Yep, that's what he's doing.
Yeah, it makes sense. You get a couple of these Deuterinos out, and the Promethean have a nice defense to some degree. I mean, to be honest, like one Hersa versus two Prometheans, I'm pretty sure the Prometheans win that fight. Maybe they need to have alluvial clay. I can't remember, but yeah, you need a healthy amount of Hersa actually out to deal with the Prometheans, and then you add the big fat dude pushing the baluster around into the mix, and things get very, very challenging.
Losing that Great Hall, that first one though, does slow down unit production quite a bit. Oh, the Valk. What's the Valk doing? Uh-oh. Watch that Valk at the base.
Oh, yep. No Valor either.
Because he just used it. He'd used it on something else, so it was on cooldown.
A great play there for Bachi. He's still got Forest Fire as well, which has been buffed recently. It actually does something now. So whether you want to save that for trying to catch out an army or something, or trying to use it early on a villager, get a pick there, that's up to you. But
should Lordi have just deconstructed one of these Great Halls at this point, just to slow down our unit production again?
I think you're absolutely right. Using the deconstruction on a big building that takes a long time to train, very nice. Valor onto the Caraballo so that to keep it alive is going to be nice, but the raiding cavalry are looking like they're going to be able to clean up the rest of them.
Yeah.
There's still these other very powerful units remaining here.
Yeah. In the end, kind of a wash, but maybe a little bit better for Lordi, actually. The Chiro Blister, expensive, but I think it went pretty well for Lordi there.
Yeah, it really did.
Now we can sit right on that gold mine, hopefully.
Yeah, if he kills off these houses, this is obviously hurting Bachi, and he's going to get housed, actually. But more so, he's opening up the gold
with one Hersier out.
Yeah.
And he only has one Hersier. How's he going to rebuild anything? Oh, I forget dwarves. This stupid retold. Now the villagers can build houses. I forgot that. This is make it easy on everybody.
Poor Norseman.
It's easy mode.
Easy mode. No, you can't get any advantage playing against this Norse civilization. It's too strong.
Right, no.
Nerf Norse. No, nerf Greek. No, nerf Egyptian. Yeah. Nerf Atlantean. Actually, nerf China. Everything needs a nerf.
It all. Nerf it all.
But another Valkyrie for Bachi will be a big amount of help. Though there will be another Valor for Caraballo, I guess, here. Is the other Valkyrie... He must have lost it somewhere, unfortunately. Oh no, it's back.
It's at the bottom.
34
running
HP.
home. She's running home.
Heal it up. Get it back to full HP.
Yep.
This is the biggest
the
advantage.
mall closed. She's headed back.
Yeah, it's the biggest advantage of playing Freya, and I hate seeing people just go, my Valkyrie's down to 20 HP. I'm just going to look to try and get some last second value, not realizing they can just get another Valkyrie and heal it back up.
All right, Boit, prediction time. Is Bachi going to be able to move on to his gold mine again, or is it done so here? Can he
500 gold in the bank. Put all these dwarves, after they finish up on this gold mine, onto food. Spend all those resources, and then move forward.
I'm listening.
And then that's the best chance he's got. Whether he can or not, I'm going to go with...
Yeah, I want an answer. Stop delaying.
I'm going with... Well, if he does all that, then I'm going to go with yes. If he doesn't, I'm going to go with no.
Ooh. It's not going to work. He's not going to get it. Look at this. Lordi's all over him.
Yeah. This is really nice. Sniping the dwarves. Big pain.
This town center is just destroying the Chiro Ballista, though.
Yeah, this is exactly the damage he needs as well. If he picks off that hero one, now the Valkyrie are actually going to be really effective. We just see one more Valor, but the raiding cavalry are already there to take it down. Throw an Axeman as well with good micro to take out the Miller. Are going to be huge as well. And now the dwarves can just move forward onto the gold mine. I think he may have done it here, JJ.
It's not over yet.
I mean, he may have got to his gold mine. That's what the prediction was, right?
It was. Yes, it was. You were right. Oh man, he got to again. too impatient. What was the point of going in underneath the town center and letting the town center kill your Chiro Ballista? It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Be patient.
Now, I mean, Bachi as well, he can actually throw some advantage away here. He's looking to push forward, doesn't need to. He can just heal up his dudes and call it a day. But he's going for it here. The Valkyrie's getting pulled back.
There's not enough to defend these Chiro Ballista, I don't think.
Nope.
Oh, okay. I guess there is.
He's going to pull away. He can heal up all these guys. 44 favor in the bank with 700 food. Gets some more Valkyrie out now that the temple's back up. And the more of these he gets out, the more scary it is for the low eco, low favor Chronos.
Man, if he would have just been a little bit more patient, I think it would have been looking good for Lordi.
He's still got some chances here. I like the idea of getting some potential catapulties out for...
Yeah, he needs a few.
For Chronos, for Lordi, because then he can position them on top of the Caraballister, and the Caraballister can clean up all the throwing axemen, and it can be okay.
We still got Forest Fire, don't we?
Forest Fire still in...
Yeah, I hate to say, I think I'm gonna see a Forest Fire raiding cavalry collapse coming.
Yeah, good surround here as well onto the back. He's got to snipe down that hero Caraballister, which he does manage to do so. So the raiding cavalry are just utilizing that speed beautifully. Bachi's playing this one really, really nicely, JJ.
It doesn't even need Forest Fire? I don't know if he does.
We're just got to save it for next game.
I feel like he should have used it.
Yeah, it's close. There's so many Valkyrie remaining here, and they're staying alive with such low HP. Wait, no, one goes down.
And there's another one. Oh, he's got the units though. Bachi does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a tense 11 minutes of Chronos rushing.
It was.
But you know the same with the last game. That one little bit of overconfidence or impatience, one of the two, you take your pick, allows Bachi to just do his thing. Like, if Lordi just sits back, masses up the army, sits on the gold mine, doesn't throw any units away, probably gets some more catapulties out as well, he's probably finding a gold starve in the main base.
And it's just imagine he finds that temple to be with as close as the game was. You know, fighting that temple, slowing him down just a little bit more.
You know, in saying that,
sometimes it's so little that matters in a game. Like,
yeah,
it's a few things. Like, you could do 100 things right and do one thing wrong, and it just undoes everything.
That's the nature of strategy games, right? Like, but on the other hand, I think the thing that you pointed out, I think that's a really earlier is really, really big, and maybe this is just actually the best way to use deconstruction against Norse. Early game on the Great Halls. It takes 45 seconds to build a Great Hall.
Yeah, because he killed the first one.
Temple takes 30 seconds. So yeah, like if you just deconstruct those Great Halls, all of a sudden the Hearse are coming out slower because they actually train faster in the Great Hall than the Temple.
And the raiding cavalry. The raiding cavalry are kind of the big unit here.
Yeah. Oh, well, nonetheless, well played by Bachi. Up 2-0 in this best of 5. He's one game away from championship point and eternal glory, JJ. Let's get into game number 3. Alrighty, game 3 it is. And this time it is going to be Lordi with Ra. Back onto that rise. JJ said you can play a god to your heart's content until you win a game. But Bachi, he's up 2-0, so he can no longer play the Loki, he can no longer play the Thor, and he's going to be moving into his third Norse god, Freyr.
Freyr. Ra versus Freyr. I would think you'd see the same strategy from game 1, wouldn't you, from Lordi? Surely you just go mass Sphinx barracks infantry across the map.
Well, on the one hand, you go, well, that's the strategy he knows. If he's executed it, well, he knows how to build it, the units, he knows how to macro it out. But so far, the execution hasn't been there. on like the big fight.
Yeah.
Different map here
Yeah.
though. Gold mines, very exposed.
Right.
Maybe the right way to go.
Yes.
That being
Very
said,
open.
you know, maybe Lordi's in his own head and wants to play a sort of different strategy. I do think that, you know, you can go for 2 town center ideas here against Freyr as Ra and just rush into a heroic age with chariot archers, which does play very nicely into the mass infantry ideas from Uller and things like that. But I think if you're gonna put money on it, your best bet is probably gonna be more Sphinx.
Yeah, I especially look at Bachi's forward or his second gold is just flat out right towards the middle of the map. That's gonna be tough for him to get to.
Yes. All right. Well, generally when you're playing Freyr, the thing you're looking for, the thing you're trying to see on the minimap as you're doing scouting is, are there any town centers, secondary town centers that have got gold mines close by? And on this map, Giza, I
Usually no.
don't really see one. Like, the best town center I see for him is actually Lordi's third town center, because he can sort of grab that, lock off the top position, and then maybe have those top gold mines in the top corner of the map. But yeah, this is going to be...
Yeah, because it's gonna be tricky. I'm pretty sure the gold mines here have to spawn in the desert.
Yes.
Not on the green. So yeah, you don't. Grabbing a town center doesn't necessarily help you with a gold mine, and certainly so far it would not be the answer for Bachi.
No. Well,
I do like the pyramids too.
Yeah.
This is a cool map. I really like this map. It's a fun one.
I mean, it's literally Giza. Giza, you get the pyramids of Giza. You get the where is the pyramid? Hello, pyramid. I don't see a pyramid.
The way left.
Oh, there it is.
The very corner of the map.
Hello there.
Yeah. Right there.
Such a magnificent structure.
It is. It's so nice.
I don't know.
I'd love to see the pyramid someday. That would be.
Yeah, me too.
That would be pretty awesome. Has anyone in your chat ever actually seen the Great Pyramids in person? I would like to know, and then I'll be very jealous.
I've seen them in books.
Well,
does that count?
Yeah. No.
Doesn't count.
Not at all. Alrighty. So what I mean, assuming we are seeing Bast, assuming Bast comes in, what is the Freyr response? Like, what would you do as Freyr, assuming your Bast is coming and the Sphinxes are going to be roaming across the map? What do you do?
It's very difficult. Now, I guess the good thing that you have going for yourself is you've got Asgardian Bastion, which is going to be a garrison point on a gold mine. So you can have your Hersa sitting in the defensive spot in the hill fort, pop out, kill off Sphinx. But just like with Loki, just like with Thor, just like with Odin, I think you need that heroic age. I think you need Godi, and I think luckily you do have Aegir. I don't particularly... I see a lot of Norse players trying to make Bragi work, like especially Thor, where I think like the more slow down your opponent sort of thing is the right way to go. You know, get Aegir, slow down the Sphinx, allows the Hersa to actually catch up to them, get damage done during the eclipse. So I like the idea of potentially staying one town center here, getting your Hersa, getting to the heroic age, getting your Asgardian Bastion down in a sneaky spot on a gold mine, potentially also a town center if you can, but it's probably not going to happen in this situation. And then trying to defend that eclipse timing with Tempest.
And you always have the risk too with the Golem Bursty. If it gets in a really good spot, it could trap a few Creo Sphinx as well. So gotta watch out for that.
Yeah, the stun has been removed from the impact
right.
of Golem Bursty, but Golem Bursty still has a stun with his auto attack. So if you send it in and then you hit the Sphinx, then he's gonna if you can do it really well, you can probably kill off all the Sphinx in one swoop there if they get out of position.
Man, look at the gold mines on this map, though. You've got the two in the middle. The others for each player are all the way in the corners of the map. That's gonna be tough to grab for Bachi.
Yeah, it really
Man,
is.
this is some cutthroat gold mines here.
The Sphinx are already out. Hierarcho Sphinx, excuse me, already out. So these are very quick. 5.8 speed. And a dream. So speedy. I don't actually think there's any heroes in the game that are as quick as these bad boys.
Yeah, maybe a Contarius hero with some relics, maybe.
Contarius hero, what well and truly. I forgot that you can have any hero that is not also a human unit. Go on.
Oh, okay. So now we're putting asterisk to the.
That's right. You've got an asterisk
to the answer. Nice to have that temple here, but I don't know if it's. You kind of like to have a wall nearby so that you can like actually defend this temple. Otherwise, it's just going to go down.
Now, this has been a good pick here for. Actually, on the one hand, it's a good thing for Lordi, but he's actually not doing any damage here. Because Fred has free repair.
That's so stupid.
You can't.
Back in my day,
you can't give free things to players. Yeah, you can't have free granaries. That's not fair.
Yeah, I guess you're right. He's really not doing any damage. I didn't even. I forget some of these more like the god the god bonuses that aren't quite in your face. Sometimes they're easy to forget about. I forgot that one existed.
Yeah, it generally doesn't have any impact in a game. You're right. This doesn't.
Right.
This doesn't. But it's just like Brad needs some assistance in defending because he has to defend. That's what he does. That's his design. So that's why he does this. That's why he has this. But the one thing here, JJ, that I am worried about, and we've been talking about it the entirety of the game, but even more so right now, is this gold mine is 500 gold. He's got 800 gold in the bank. Does he try and push out in the classical age, or is he going to try and spend and just put villagers onto food and wood and sell while he tries to get an army out?
I don't know, man. I feel like aging up is just too risky. I mean, he's not even close to having the food in the bank he needs. Like, surely he builds up and tries to come out into that front gold mine and just kind of is like, well, either I lose at this gold mine, or if I win the fight here, I'm probably winning the game. It's kind of what I would do, but I'm not in the finals, so maybe that's wrong.
I do think that there is. Okay, so the hard part here, the very, very hard part here is figuring out what the Ra players are actually doing. Lordi here, I think this is, if you had Omniscience as the Norse player and you could see everything, what he's doing here is, I think, a mistake. He's going to the heroic age. And this is 75 seconds right now for Bachi to literally move out of his base, get himself set up on a gold mine with his Asgardian. But he doesn't know exactly. Which is why it's actually a really good move, because Bachi's feeling claustrophobic. He can't move out of his base because there's just going to be a pure army of Sphinx Axemen that he has to deal with. So, yeah, this is very, very smart from Lordi.
And if the chariots start showing up, I mean, I don't know what this throwing axemen are really going to do in a big fight coming up here. But here he comes. Here he comes out to this gold. How's it going to go?
I mean, he's got a strong army. He's got copper weapons. Doesn't have that copper mail through just yet. He does throw the Asgardian Bastion down. This is what he needs. It will shoot up very quickly with this many infantry units on it. And Lordi, I mean, he's hit the heroic age, so he's going to get the boosted myth units. Is this timing going to hit well enough?
Oh!
It's coming in. 5 seconds on the Asgardian Ilfort. And the Locust to come down. I don't know if he's going to get it. He gets it up. He's got a garrison. He's got to get away. All the hearse are falling here, JJ.
Oh, that locust wrecked those throwing axemen.
That was brutal. That was like the perfect timing from Lordi. If Bachi was 2 seconds faster, he would have been able to garrison in to the Asgardian Bastion, take 0 damage from that locust, pop back out, and he would have been completely fine here. But he's taken so much pain here. All the Hersa are down. The Axemen are huge. There's more Sphinx coming through, and basically Bachi just has to keep garrison microing here. And I think he's out of gold. He's out of hope in this game.
Yeah. And Lordi has this map lit up like a Christmas tree with his Mobilist. There's no way Bachi can steal it. Here comes the pig. Can he save things?
This has been a bit late. He probably could have dropped this down as well. Too much going on, I guess. This could have been an assistance in the game, but he does manage to pick off one Sphinx, and the next Sphinx is going to... Oh, he's got to get the damage done, though. Probably going to get another Sphinx.
And that's it. All right.
That is the game. I mean, well played by Lordi. We talked about it. We said it was... Well, I said it was technically a mistake, but a mistake that needs to be punished, and it goes unpunished by Bachi by literally 2 seconds.
Yeah, he could have just got out there just a little bit faster.
Yeah. Or maybe even if he had the Hersa on the Asgardian Bastion as well. I think he didn't have those. He just had to throw an axe on it.
No. Right. Yeah, it's insane how just fractions of seconds can change everything, because he lost so much in that half second with the locust and the Sphinx with their special, and then it was just too late just in that instant. What a nice timing there. That was nice job by Lordi to get a win.
Yeah. Well, Lordi on the board. It's best of 5, JJ.
Best of 5, yes. So Lordi was up against the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, reverse sweep incoming.
Well, we'll see. Let's get into game 4. Alrighty, game number 4 on the way right now. We're moving into the map Anatolia, as we've got Lordi picking Zeus, and Bachi going to be sticking in with this Frere god. It's been a bit of a crazy series thus far, JJ, but now we're going to see something slightly different. Is this the first Greek of Lordi we're seeing?
Yep. At least, in this matchup, and he has played Zeus throughout the year. I'm looking at my little scorecard here. He has played 4 games, at least 4 games with Zeus in the regular season. He went 2-2 with Zeus.
Wait, we gotta skip the history right now, because the Lordi villager is angry and being a problem.
Wall it off. Wall that old Sark off.
It's actually really tricky. The way to get the wall off is you've got to build 2 wall segments going into the corner, and then get yourself in there and then tap both of those walls. So while you're running around, you've got to set the wall up, and then you run back into it, get the gap closed, and get into there, and you're good to go.
But should there be another villager for Lordi putting up a dock? Oh, there is on the top. Okay.
Yeah, he's
a little bit slow, I think.
He's made that happen. Oh god, this is so brutal. Do you just take? Wait, I don't think he can do this. I don't think he's.
He's gonna get it.
Okay. All right. All right. All is fair. It's all good. And another dock for Bachi. Not for Bachi, for Lordi here. It's a brutal start.
I think Lordi needed to keep the scout on the Berserk that whole time. I don't know why he had it attack the dock. Because look at the dock. The dock is missing 22 hit points.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of damage. That
the Berserk has
on the Berserk.
The Berserk has 12 hit points left. That would have been nice to see that damage under the Berserk. It might have died before the dock came up.
I think it would have. I don't think it's a might have. It would have died.
Yeah,
but the good thing is, the Berserk survives. The dock gets up, and we get to see a game instead of a resign at 2 minutes into the game. Got to take the small wins, JJ.
Yeah, but I would have thought it would have been pretty funny to have a 2.5 minute game in the finals. That would have been pretty awesome.
It is pretty funny. What's that game? There was a game a while ago, very long time ago. Actually, I think it was in Champions League Season 1. I can't remember who the player was, but I know that Moore was the person who must have been against Scardy or something. But Moore playing Uranus on Highland got his villager killed.
Yeah.
It was like a 45-second game.
Yeah, it does bring flashbacks to the good old Highland days where you played against Set. Set would just use vision and come forward, and it would be game over at the or Zeus for that matter. I don't know how any people playing Norse survived like 2005. Like it really boggles my mind how they must have really loved punishment, because there'd be no other reason to play Norse back in the old days between just Zeus bolting your your whole Sarg. Oh man,
I remember. I mean, let's be honest. The level of play in 2004 or 5, with the exception of
it wasn't
chronojj,
great.
with the exception of chronojj,
Well,
obviously he was the best. So, like,
okay.
there was just there's just things that people didn't know. Like, sure, bolt on a berserk was a thing, but would you get bolted every single game?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Some would.
Yeah.
Dean would.
Dean would. Yeah.
If you don't know, Dean was like, for those watching now in 2025, Dean was kind of legendary for just the abusive gameplay. Dean is the only one I've ever seen win by building a wonder in the middle of an oasis on Oasis.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do that? Like, that just sounds great. Like, what a legend. What an absolute legend. I think I got this on the wrong side again, don't I? Oh, well.
But anyway, for this game, do we just assume that Lordi like does a semi-quick heroic for Scylla?
I don't think that is the correct play, but I do think it can work. We could go on a tangent about it. If you go for the fast heroic and you kill off all the fish, great. But you're giving the map over to Bachi. Yeah, you're giving the map over to Bachi, and he gets his town center in the center of the map, which allows him to get a Tempest, Ghoul and Bursty off, which is going to be enough of an advantage there to survive any sort of bronze things that the Zeus player might throw at you, and then you get yourself what's it called? Feast of Renown. Feast of Renown, which gives you the food boost on all the town centers and things, and it kind of makes up for the fact you don't have water. And while you're going to be in a difficult spot as the Freyr player, it's definitely winnable. So yeah, I think I much prefer the idea of building out hoplites, building out minotaurs, getting a light amount of pressure on water, and then preventing the middle of the map going to the Freyr player.
Okay. Now, it looks like that might be what Lordi's doing. We're seeing a couple Minotaurs come out, Labyrinth of the Minotaurs, and some Hoplites. So, Lordi listening to the Boit play session there, or the coaching session. Nice to see some bullfighting.
You can't look at these bull Minotaur and say, hey, I'm going to skip out on these. Look at them. Like, they're sick.
Oh, right. Yeah. Here comes the hearse.
Yeah, the other thing is the reason why these bull minotaur is so good is, did you see the Hersa? The bull minotaur got such a weight advantage that they just kind of ignore them. They just walk straight through them.
Yeah.
So it's really challenging to defend against them.
There's a lot of red units here, though. I guess we still have restoration, though, don't we? So it doesn't really matter.
Don't really want to use restoration this early though, do you? Like, that's on 4 units. 5 units getting killed up. The Bill Minotaur here are going to be strong, but you have to kill off all of those Hersa before you can do anything. And now
He
he's
just
gonna
has
get
to
out of there.
retreat.
That's right. He's out of here, but Bachi's gonna be
He
happy
could have
about
just
this.
retreated anyway.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know if he quite saw all of the throwing axemen coming in before he used the resto. He might have only thought there was just one or two, and then the rest all kind of showed up there.
Oh, Asgardian Hillfort's been spotted though. That's down. I don't think you can save that. It goes down, and the hoplites are in as well. That's kind of brutal. You can't be throwing away that building there.
Oh, he got a little, kind of a nice little counterattack there from Lordi. I think Bachi probably thought that Lordi would just retreat all the way back to his base, and no, that's a nice little move there from Lordi.
Yeah, and now the army's out of position. The Bull Minotaur with that 5.4 speed can just run into the main base of Bachi, and Bachi doesn't have any Hursa back here to stop this. Oh, never mind. He's a little bit of a mistake there from Lordi. Takes a couple of smacks before he gets back to full HP. But on the front...
Oh, but this battle on the front.
Bolt onto the Draugr.
Yeah, there's no Hersier on the front.
No Hursa at all.
They're so slow chasing these Bull Minotaur.
They really are. But this is a lot of population.
Oh, did you see
getting
that
distracted.
juke?
Oof. Yes, this is.
What
this
a
is
juke!
Look at this guy go.
Yeah, now the throwing axemen are kind of split off from the Hersier, so Bachi can't fight this.
No.
They're on the opposite side of the trees.
Unfortunately, a little bit of a misusage of the special there, but nonetheless, I think Lordi and Bachi have made it through this early game. I mean, relatively unscathed. No restoration, no Asgardian Hill Bastion. So, I mean, you gotta be pretty happy if you're both players with what's happened, I guess.
I mean, Lordi's got to feel good because he's got all the water in the top.
That's
Though
true.
the bottom's kind of funny. They're just kind of like fishing amongst each other. Oh no, here comes some hoplites now. They'll maybe clear off this dock.
Yeah, but Bachi now going to grab a town center, and he's got the resources for the heroic age. So this means that Tempest, Ghoul and Bursty combo that we are talking about earlier is going to be on the table.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind being in Lorne's position though. I mean, he's gonna probably get control of the bottom side of the water too. Does it really matter to be down a town center?
It's not going to matter in terms of like a winning situation or not, but it does allow Bachi to just give himself the chance to stay alive. So Lordi is going to have to do something in the next name the amount of times, probably like 7 minutes. Going to have to get something happen, get an advantage. Otherwise, Bachi's probably going to be able to stabilize.
Yeah, the gold mines, I guess, are maybe the slight worry. Though there's still almost a full 3,000 gold in Lordi's second mine in his base, so probably not really that big of a deal. But yeah, the gold mines are all, of course, Anatolia right in the middle of the map.
Yeah, this is always something you see. The obvious move in Anatolia is to mine all your gold in the main base and then move into the middle. But that second gold mine, if you've already got units out, you've already got your town center up in the center, I would be considering leaving that other gold mine there for later.
These hoplites.
They're so fast. They're throwing axes like, come back here. I want to throw my axes at you. And Lordi's like, nope, I'm going to go around the map here where we're just gonna
run out. All right, there's Dionysus.
Yeah, I like what Lordi's doing now. He does lose a couple of villages in the middle though. The Peltast as the answer for these throwing axemen is really, really good. Like there's Toxotes out as well, which are also decent, but Peltast are your money unit to kill off those throwing axemen.
Gotta micro those things though. That's always the trick.
I've got
that's what I've seen. So kind of watching some of the lower tier games is like they'll come out with like this similar army composition, but then the Peltasts just don't get microed.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a disaster.
Yeah,
But Lordi should be at the level where he'll be able to do it. But
I think he's
all right,
pretty,
we
I
got
think he's
some.
got some pretty decent micro. The,
Yeah.
the trick
Oh
is
yeah.
there's
He'll be
this
solid.
there's this hotkey that you have that selects all your range units. So you can use that hotkey. You don't have to create control groups. You just use that hotkey, select all your Deuterinos, and then you just go ahead and right click on with shift click on all of the range units.
Now, what do you think of Bachi, like, just abandoning this top town center so he can build the bottom one? I don't know if that's a beneficial trade for him.
I mean, if he loses no villagers, it's not good, but it's not bad.
Still
But
a lot of resources.
I feel like if he was over here with his army and could duel and bursty,
the pig,
Tempest,
yeah,
I think it would have been fine. But
here's a big fight.
he's getting caught out here with his army. He's still got to be careful with taking this fight. And now the Asgardian Hillfort will fall behind this as well. Bronze gets dropped down. I guess Tempest has to come through. I think he just run now.
Run if you're who?
If you're the Freya player, you run. Restoration again to come down. I'm terrified against this bronze at the moment with the current military position. And when you see the Gullen bursting out coming through, it's a bit late. Get straight onto those beefed up Minotaur. Those things with the bronze here, 76%.
That's
armor,
nuts.
huge.
And I think, I think this bronze units just live all the way through the Tempest and don't care.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like the Hydra attacking the Golden Bursty.
He doesn't actually have a huge bonus against Myth units. It's only 2x.
Huh.
For a hero, this guy isn't that heroic.
No,
I mean, he has a huge amount of damage, though, let's be honest, but Bachi there loses everything, and that's the game done. Well executed from
nice. Yeah, did he not do basically what you told him to do?
Yeah,
I feel like he did.
He followed the playbook.
Man, that was a nice game from Lordi. Really well done, and you know what this means? We're in a game 5.
Yep, we got there.
This is it. The mythic tier of the Athenian League has gone as far as it can go. Game 5 here, but let's take a look at the post game. I'm a big fan of numbers and graphs.
Oh yeah, what are you saying? Let's check out the resource.
I'm saying Bachi had more resources by quite a bit.
It's always interesting with that one because, you got the fish situation, but the fish only really starts being useful when the heroic age comes in. You take a look at when the heroic age comes in, it was at 11 minutes, and then you have to wait like 30 seconds or so, so 12 minutes and 30 seconds for per scene to come in, and there was only really 2 minutes of that fish advantage. And in that 2 minutes, you do see the bar actually creep up for Lordi. So, I mean, if the game went for a little bit longer here, Lordi would have started to overtake, I think, even if no damage had really come through.
I think the fatal mistake here for Bachi was going down and grabbing that bottom town center. I feel like it would have been much better for him to force all of the god powers on the top left town center, because then he could have afforded to retreat from there. But since he lost that first, he can't afford to lose the middle of the map, so he's forced to fight against all of that. So yeah, that bottom town center there kind of came back to bite Bachi, because it just kind of started that snowball of
the thing is, right,
losses.
I think Bachi was trying to spread himself out, where I think you want to concentrate everything in onto one area. You put your town center, you put your Asgardian bastions all on this top area. If he lost his Asgardian bastion kind of for free for the first one, but let's just say if you're a Freya player and you're trying to play this matchup and you're struggling, what you want to do is most likely get the second town center first, drop your first Asgardian bastion kind of next to that town center, so it's even more challenging to attack. And then your second one that's going to come forward with, you've got the next favor for it, with the upgrade as well. You put it again down, and then all of a sudden you've got 2 hill forts, a town center, defending these gold mines, and you're going to be able to continue in the game and keep playing.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's
Yeah,
go.
and Andy lost that first one too, didn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah,
But,
yeah.
all right, game 5.
Alrighty, game 5 for all the marbles, JJ. This time we're
All
going to
the
be
marbles.
seeing, we're going to see so many marbles, but they're going to be Hades marbles and they're going to be Freyr marbles as we're on the map Midgard.
Midgard. So this is another home map for Bachi. So Bachi chose Anatolia and now Midgard. So he apparently likes the land-water maps, but the first one didn't go his favor. And he's running back Freyr for game 5. Lordi, of course, since he won, has to switch over to Hades.
It's definitely, I think Midgard is one of those maps which you kind of roll the dice on a little bit as a Norse player.
Okay.
Gold mine
What are you
wise,
running to roll?
You're rolling how many gold mines are on the map. In my opinion, that's what you're rolling. Like, if there's a lot, you're happy. If there's not many, you're not very happy.
Well, he's got a pretty favorable one to the bottom of his base.
The thing is, he's got only 2 of them, which means you're playing into this. I mean, both players have only got 2 gold mines, but the gold spend for Norse is, I feel like it's a lot higher than everyone else because you're building dwarves and you've also got some other things like you're building like Cursor, or you're building raiding cavalry or Jarls, high gold cost units. Whereas the Greek player is going to be building units like Hypaspist, units like Peltast, and even Prodromus as the primary unit. Plus, they've got access to things like
Vaults Erebus for Hades.
Exactly, but Manticore, Cyclops, Chimera as well is costing food, I believe. So there's lots of opportunities here to mitigate that problem of having no gold and a very short trade route.
Yeah, the 2 gold mines per player, that's not much. I guess I hadn't paid enough attention to Midgard to realize that there could be just a 2 gold mine spawn. That's not a lot of gold for the course of a game.
It really, and if you kind of have this in the back of your mind, it really can change the way you have to play this game. All of a sudden, I'm trying to be really careful with my units. I don't want to trade too much because then I'm not going to be able to get the upgrades in, and it's going to be tough. You have to be really just really careful with your units, and it becomes, I don't know, it just becomes a tricky map to play.
What kind of differences do you get here with the Hades in this matchup?
I guess as well, we just watched this matchup with Zeus. So the one big one is the hoplites are now slower, so you can't just run around with hoplites.
Yeah.
The other big one is,
do you still go up with Athena here? Surely, wouldn't you?
I think if you follow the Soup School of Hades, who I think is probably the best Hades player at the moment in terms of strategy, he'd probably go Ares here. And he'd probably go in with some early Hippias and Hypaspist.
Okay.
With Cyclops. A weird composition. Very, very strange. It's definitely super it's very retold to say the least. But yeah, I think that's probably the most scary thing that Hades can do on Midgard here. But yeah, Athena works as well. And we are going to be seeing Athena. Athena is like the simple, like straight down the line. I know how to play it. It's easy. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you fight classical here from both sides? Or do you do kind of a semi-quick heroic?
I'm trying to like unpack in myself, because you don't get to play on Midgard all too often, right? Like even in ranked, you're getting people dodging Midgard and things like that. So, Yeah, I don't know if a classical fight is really going to work out here all too well for the Hades. So maybe you just have to go for the fast heroic, maybe get some Skylar as well to harass the water, get your upgrades and things like that while going for something.
Like a death ball of archers.
Hmm.
Does a death
Yeah.
ball of archers work against somebody like Freyr who has the hill fort with
Probably not.
Huskarls?
Probably not going for archers unless they're peltast. More for the pacifist.
Okay.
The pacifist peltast is like your comp against Freyr unless the Freyr player goes into cavalry.
Ooh, instant armory from Lordi.
Well, it's going to be that fast heroic, it looks like. I mean, I think this makes sense.
Yeah.
This does make sense. But on the other side here for Bachi, what makes sense to defend against this is drop a town center, put your Asgardian Bastion down, and get some... Don't get too many units out, and then get your own heroic age in. But it's going to be just a little bit behind. But you get this whole area sorted out, and you're going to be happy.
Yeah, Bachi's, he doesn't quite know this, but his only other gold mine is actually down on the bottom too. So yeah, this bottom half of the map for him is where it's all going to be, what it's all going to be about for him. And he's starting good on the bottom.
Yeah.
Does Bachi just kind of quick jump to heroic age, or does he make more units? I mean,
I
it looks
think
like he is making units.
I think you want to get yourself the town center because this is going to slow everything down. Like you hit this heroic age,
Yeah.
the Sky are going to come and harass you, but you've got your town center. You're not going to get killed by anything. Basically, to break through the town center, but Lordi would have to throw a fortress down, get Petropolis out, which is possible, but takes time, right? So you're going to be able to hit your own heroic age and be okay, I think. So, yeah, I think you do go for a quick second town center first. But
So a timing attack doesn't really you're not really scared as Freyr of like a timing attack here.
not against Hades, I don't think. I mean,
Okay.
if there was pestilence, I'd be more scared because you're going to be able to stop that arrow fire from coming from the Asgardian hill fort. The Cyclops are going to be able to bash everything down. The pacifist are terrifying, but against Athena, yeah, no, I'm not too scared.
Minotaur is trying to head back home.
Run for it. Those are getting
Yeah, they're getting blocked by the berserk. Lordi is picking up a pretty important relic, actually, the one that gives heroes more damage against myth units.
Yeah, Kopesh of Horus is always nice to have, especially as Greek. I know a lot of people complain about how hard it is to deal with myth units as Greek. But you get this relic, and all of a sudden, 14x versus myth units for Ajax. That's
The
quite
lion.
What's the lion? Oh, what's he doing with that?
Right in the middle. He's losing it, is what he's doing.
When he got path blocked as well. Ghost building by Bachi. Nice job with that one. As the Skylar guys start
You don't
moving
want to.
around.
Man, you don't want to. Those lions are pretty useful in kind of taking control of like a battle line. You hate to lose your free one just like that.
Oh, this is a relic that's new with the Chinese DLC that Bachi's just picked up. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. It might be like Zhirang or something. But
Walls
wall regeneration. As if walls aren't annoying enough. As if they're not annoying enough, JJ. You know me. If it was my RTS game, I would say no walls allowed.
Walls automatically lose. It should be the opposite effect, where it makes the opponent's walls like slowly degenerate.
Yeah, much better. Much better.
Yeah. We do have a double. Yeah, we have a sill on the bottom and then another one on the top. So Lordi is valuing pushing off of the water.
Yeah, this is the Skylar were nerfed. I do think they're in a pretty like nice place now, but even so, if you let them get a couple of heads, they are going to get some big damage done. And the Kraken sitting underneath the town center is actually going to trade okay here.
There's this curse.
A big curse coming through, but this is not. He doesn't have the pushing power. I would have liked to see like a fortress get thrown down on the front and then drop like sentinels on top of it, and
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
Petropolis, and that would be a really, really scary thing here to break through all these buildings and start looking to pressure the gold
Right.
mines. Oh,
Yeah, I feel like
top side, Bachi, side build,
What?
berserk, 2 villager kills.
Oh
Ouch.
man.
Now does Bachi have himself Feast of Renown? Hasn't clicked it up yet, but he definitely will.
No, I think he had it already.
No, it's
I saw it in the.
not yet. It's
Okay.
in the temple. In the temple. Has not restarted.
Oh,
Such
maybe
an
it's a
important
different
tech.
technology.
Yeah. Feast of Renown,
Ooh,
very
just-
soon to come through, will be gigantic. He's getting himself burst in, so he still wants to have that fish, just a little bit of it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's. I don't know if that's really going to work for him unless he comes back and defends. There's still another Scylla that's. Kind of. Well, the Scyllas are just sitting back, I
16,
guess.
16 HP in a dream.
Well,
No,
there's one on the top still.
Oh, yeah, he's just hanging out. It's just the Loch Ness monster. He's just chilling.
Where is Bachi's? Now Bachi's grabbing a town center. Shouldn't he, if he was going to grab this, shouldn't he have just grabbed it like 3 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago?
I think instead of the second hill fort, yeah, he should have got the town center. And then put the hill
Oh
fort.
yeah, now the hill fort's just going down. This is.
And his
I feel like if I'm Lordi here, I'm pretty happy about where we're at.
Yeah. In fact, it might even be. He might have even got enough damage already to just cut units and go next stage. But man,
Age up.
Bachi is just continuing this raid at the top end. Lordi, I mean, he's turning around and shanking, but
Now he sees.
there's 5 berserks queued up here. If Bachi takes it, he's being patient with it. If he just be patient, creates these 5 berserks, pops them out, then all of a sudden, Lordi's economy is hurting.
Well, surely Lordi just parks a couple Hippaspis up there, right?
Yeah, he does. Nice play.
Okay, that's what he's doing. Yeah. See, without the Zeus bonus here, these buildings are just that much more formidable. There's not nice army advantage for Lordi, but does Tempest probably evens it out, right?
Yeah, Tempest, Skull and Bursty is going to beat up the Restoration. I think at this point, if you had the fortress with the Sentinels, I think he's probably okay, but still up there. As the army comes through, there's the Tempest. We see the Skull and Bursty click down as well to come into this fight. Not just yet, but the taunt coming through for Bachi's Rock Giant does cause a lot of problems here.
The heroes are out of position.
Those Peltast I think they are mindfulling somewhat. No, they're not. No, they are.
They're all just attacking the. Wow.
Nice
The
clean up
heroes.
with the Bachi.
Wow, that was. Oh my goodness. The heroes.
Yeah.
The heroes got one hit on the Rock Giant.
You got so much value that Rock Giant, and all the heroes got frozen as well. Absolutely brutal. Meanwhile, on the top here, it looks like that side build has been dealt with, but now
That's a whole army gone.
Lordi's army's finished. He has to get a town center, and now I think. I mean, it's tough to say, but I think if Bachi, he doesn't have to keep pushing forward. He's got the advantage now that he's just got an entire army that he doesn't have to build, and he can just sit on this gold advantage, and then push forward a little later and be completely fine.
Man, I'm still stuck on that last fight. That Rock Giant single-handedly turned the whole thing because those heroes were not in position. I mean, the Rock Giant literally tanked his entire hit points, and part of it was while he was get the taunt with the extra armor. Man.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing against the Rock Giant, if you're playing against it, the taunt's going to happen. But then when it finishes, the units keep on attacking the Rock Giant. You've got to manually pull them off because you don't want your Hippaspist or Hoplites or anything apart from not named a hero attacking a Rock Giant. It's really not doing any damage.
Yeah. Whew, that's a tough one. That's a tough fight there. I mean, not a game ender, but yeah, it's a lot of resources that Lordi has to put back into his army that Bachi doesn't have to.
Yeah. Oh, we got the Feast of Renown started back up again. A lot of people don't realize this one actually can come out of your temple. Like, you can get Feast of Renown out of your temple. You don't need to waste 100 seconds in a hill fort of precious Huskal training time. But
There's a lot of throwing axemen from Bachi.
and there's a lot of hoppleheads.
It's almost not enough Toxotes here.
No, I mean, he's got 7 Peltast, and what you can do with the Peltast is snipe from afar, because they got 20 range. So just be sniping and pulling back and sniping and pulling back and all that good stuff. But it's a lot of micro. I do think that the micro is slightly more tricky for the Hades player, for the Greek player, than it is for the Freyr player. But I mean, only ever so slightly.
Man, this game's tight though. I mean, I feel like you got to give the edge to Bachi here. It's just he seems like he's a little bit closer to kind of accomplishing what he needs to. He's got kind of the middle controlled, but it's gonna be interesting once these gold mines run out and how we progress, because it seems like we're going to go to kind of a bit of a stalemate here for at least a little bit.
Yeah, the Artemis is gonna come through, which is a big another big resource sink. Obviously, you have to do it, but yeah, the gold for Bachi is going to be running out first, I'd have to guess. There's still about...
It looks like it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an advantage there. But just good fights is all you have to do right now. Don't take bad fights, and obviously that's just normal, but even more so.
Pushing in on the base here, there's really not a whole lot to gain, I don't think. I mean, you kill a few buildings, but what's it really matter? But Bachi is way ahead in villager count, though.
Yeah, well,
but behind in fishing, of course.
It's basically equal, I'd say, in terms of economy. Basically. So this is the hard part right now as the Greek player. You don't want to run the infantry forward. Sit there on the back and leave them on top of your archers and allow the archers to clean everything else up. But Bachi pulls back, doesn't take advantage of that there.
I like the little Petrobolus here behind the wall. Just gotta finish the wall.
He's getting shut down by the hill fort.
Oh man, he is, isn't he? Oh man. The fort doesn't even go down.
It is nice and cheap now. It only costs 275 resources.
Okay, so. Big fight.
There we go. He's charging forward. Throwing axe. We're going to be pulling back. Nice micro from Bachi. But yeah, Lordi still taking it slow. Not overcommitting.
There it goes. All right, now the hill fort's down.
The Artemis coming through is the interesting one. Actually, I don't know about you, JJ, but I have this feeling that Artemis is actually very, very rarely not the right pick for Greek. But in this specific situation, this feeling that with 185 favor in the bank, Hephaestus is looking really appealing to me.
Yeah, and with the way the map's set up here, I don't know if... Oh, this is a big catch by Lordi, though.
Yeah, huge amount of damage here as Bachi does pull back, but now he's sitting underneath double Feast of Renown hill forts. You can't fight here. The healing is too much. With the restoration, maybe you can.
Yeah, maybe. You just cast Eclipse, or not Eclipse, Earthquake on this? So. You gotta retreat now, don't fight.
Yeah, I think you do cast Earthquake on here, but this is just one of those classic mistakes. I'm going Mythic Age. I got a full population army. Let's attack. No, wait for the Mythic Age first, and then go for it. Is your most important thing. And now Bachi has got himself into the main base of Lordi. Lordi does have himself favor for a Sentinel, so he can drop here if he wants to.
Don't really know if he needs it.
I think he does.
Where do you use Earth? Okay, right in the middle.
I'm just gonna kill off infrastructure here. I think he kills off all the buildings. It's the hill fort before it's right on the edge of the earthquake. Doesn't do a huge amount of damage out there. Looks like it's going to survive with a little bit of HP, but the burning arrows here that you get for free when hitting the mythic age can be big. We've also got immediate shafts of plague coming through, and this is where this Hades army starts to really shine. Is once that tech is in.
This is close, Boit. This is close.
It is. And
nice
also,
last game.
It's 100 favor in the bank. Will mean Chimera's spammage definitely going to be important here for Lordi. Bachi's got
I think
the go
Lordi needs to fall back and wait for Tex a little bit, though.
Yeah. Still sitting at full population, though. As the...
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Maybe it's working out for him.
Yeah. And Shafts of Plague is in. Goldmine situation, though, JJ. It's getting awfully close to running out, and neither player has even thought about a trade route.
Yeah, what is that? Lordi has 2,500. Bachi has 2,000. So
I don't know.
Look at the food that Bachi has. Oh my goodness.
He can just sell food for days. How much is the market going for? It doesn't have a market. No trading has happened at all. I don't know about you, JJ, but I think I'm liking, even though Bachi's got all the food in the world, I'm actually liking Lordi's position here, just on the fact that his army looks unkillable.
Yeah, he's got a... What's his units are kind of... Okay, there they go.
But he's still got to be careful. You can't just be throwing units away underneath the town center. And there's the Gullet bursting. That's huge shockwave to come in there.
Yeah, they got to retreat out of there. That did a ton of damage.
And he's dropped down to 170 pop.
Getting that fortress. This is a nice spot for that fortress to take control. If he gets it up. Oh, he does, but will it go back down? Will the pig kill it?
Another restoration. For Lordi will be a big help, but with the Golem Bursting no longer attacking his army, he's like happily taking the fight, but... Oh my god, this game's so tense. This is such... What a game 5, JJ. What a game 5.
It is. It's on the nice edge. We do have Vidar coming halfway up.
Yeah,
Nobody's grabbed a third town center, right?
No. There's no time.
Town center, that's it.
There's no time for a town center. I mean, there is now, but...
Alright, finally the pig goes down. Ooh, does Inferno turn the tide here?
Yeah, if you can angle the Inferno to run straight through the Peltast and then hit a town center or something like that, that's going to be very brutal. Oh, the Bergrisi as well, just having a feast on some buildings here.
Oh man, but the Shafts of Plague is doing some work.
Yeah.
Got the heroes. Oh, I don't know. Here it comes. What are we gonna see? Where are we gonna see it? Surely. Oh.
Angles it straight at the. He does angle it straight into the fortress, so we'll have to pull that off. But the Peltast managed to survive the brunt of the blast.
A nice reaction.
Oh, and Fafnir is out. Does Mercedes one hit that? I don't think it does. I think it just freezes it and does damage.
Kind of an awkward retreat here, though, for Lordi.
Yeah, he's losing a lot of units on the retreats with Berserks coming through. They're going to take a while to get those big upgrades.
Both players' gold mines are gone. Is it? You just? The Fafnir will just in a gold starved map. This Fafnir, I mean, that gives some pretty integral resources over.
Yeah, the more you think about it, the more you're like, maybe this Vidar doesn't make any sense. Go for hell and make mountain giants or something, right? In the
Lordi.
Keep on making Bergrisi, but Lordi keeps throwing units away. He can't be. He's got decent gold in the bank for the time being, but he really can't be throwing any units away. Off the top, we see
3 gold in the bank.
3 gold in the bank. All of the trade has been done, and the markets. The markets started up. Does Lordi started his own one. He got 33 gold.
Oh my goodness, Bachi's
Is there any? Someone tell me where the town center for Lordi is going to be able to finish here. Maybe 4 seconds. Village is falling. It does get up. There you go. And the villagers get converted. Bachi in the main base.
Where are the heroes? For Lordi, he's only got one out.
He needs him. He's got. I mean, the Chiron isn't even the best hero to have against these 75%.
Where are they? They're not even in the queue.
No, you get the Ajax comes out in 5 seconds. Well worth to just get him out straight away and then queue up Theseus. There he goes.
You don't want to lose this town center.
No, you can't be losing. You can't be losing anything at this point.
You can't afford it.
Ajax is out, but he's not attacking the Begreezy.
No, he's attacking the Berserk. But you can't afford it. It's so close.
Why is he going? Kill the Begreezy!
Oh, no! No!
Okay, town center down. Still resources in the bank. Still trying to pump units out, but I think
these things just aren't dying.
Bachi can't even afford to lose all these units either. He's still pushing, but he's got no gold in the bank.
Wow, those 3 Bertrizzi got so much value. Oh man, they didn't need to either. There's still no heroes, it's just one. Where are they?
I don't know, he's got idle villages. All the donkey caravans are idle here, JJ. I think that
I know, that's why it's so big.
I think that Lordi may have hit his wall here. And he taps out.
Just... Oh man, wow. I think this goes completely the other way if he has his 4 heroes out there. Wow. I don't know why you didn't have them out.
This is Age of Mythology, man.
Wow. Because, like, yeah, I mean, Bachi was running on empty too.
Yeah, but like
he had nothing.
It's 150 to 150. It's 44 military to 48 military.
Yeah.
Realistically, I don't actually think Lordi's dead here.
No, I don't think so. I think he feels like he's a whole lot more behind than what he really is. But the problem is, as long as he can't get this town center up, he's never getting his trade route going. So
his trade is probably getting
I don't think
like 1 gold a trip or something if he goes to the other town center.
Because Bachi at this point, he only has 3, 6. He only has 8 caravans. That was the game at that town center. I mean, just not having the heroes out, and then when Ajax did come out, he was attacking a berserk.
He wanted the berserk kill. He was Chad Jax in the flesh, and he just didn't want to help out.
Wow, that was on a knife's edge. I mean, I feel like whoever would have won that fight there would go on to win the game. And wow, what an ending! And it just shows that you don't have to have like great micro. Like here, all he needed to do for Lordi is just have his heroes and just put them on the why do you even say this? The Bertrizzi. I mean, nothing else in that fight mattered. Yeah. The only thing that mattered was killing them, and he didn't. He did not do that.
This is literally the fundamentals like 101. If you do nothing in a game in a fight, nothing except for there's even this really cool feature. If you click onto the enemy myth unit, you can then click the hero button on there, and it'll send all your heroes to attack it. If you do nothing but that in a fight, you're going to give yourself the advantage.
Yeah. Oh man, I would. This is like the type of game I wish that you could like do a save state on.
Yeah.
And like run it back and see what would have happened. Yeah. Just like that difference. That was close.
That one fight. Have the Ajax attacking those low HP Bergrizi, the town center survives. The other thing is there was like restorations being cast. There were sentinels getting dropped down where in a game where you don't have gold, but you have a ton of food, Chimera would be so impactful in this one
Uh
as
huh.
well. Not only with dealing with the human units, but also helping out with the myth unit problem.
Right. Yeah, and especially, I mean, I don't feel like the last Sentinels probably didn't really
No, I didn't really do much.
give a whole lot. But yeah, just a few Chimera there. I mean, because Chimera do pretty well against the Bear Drizzy because they would have the attack bonus. But wow, what a series! And hey, I guess we have our champion in the Mythic tier for Athenian League. So Bachi, he's been doing it for 20 years. Here in 2025, just barely edges out Lordi from Greece.
This game's
Tried to be, tried to channel the Mista here, and
what a
so
game.
close.
What a
Wow,
finish to the
what a game.
tournament.
I
What a
mean,
finish to the tournament. Oh
this
man.
this type of loss to me, like if I'm Lordy, would be so excruciating.
Yeah.
Like you'd almost rather lose and just get completely wiped in the series, but like to lose this close in a game 5, like just knowing like how close it was, like
Yeah.
that'd be tough.
It would be.
That'd be tough. But not to take away from him. I mean, well done by him to get to this point. Well done by him to fight back, falling behind 0-2. We go to a game 5, a really close one. Nice series. What a, what what a great tournament, man. Whoever runs this tournament, whew, well done to him too. Like to
Yeah.
put this all together.
I want to. I'll put it out there and say huge thanks, JJ, for running it and giving everyone the opportunity to play in such a well organized tournament. I'm excited to see Athenian League Season 3. If you guys want to watch more of this, the content is out there, I believe. JJ casted stuff on his channel. There was Black Adders plays also casting stuff, so that if you ain't getting enough Age of Mythology content, you can go back to the VODs or YouTube and check him out. But insane. What a tournament. Congratulations to
Yeah.
Bachi. Forever will be known as the winner of Athenian League Season 2.